Hello everyone, welcome back to the homestead. If you're new to our channel, my name is Carrie and we are a family of 9 living on 20 acres in the Ozarks of Missouri, so welcome. We try our best to post new videos every Thursday, and we're also currently posting old videos on Tuesdays from another channel that we had for about 2 years called Homestead Living. We're going back to one channel, just Thousands of Roots. So on Tuesdays we post those old videos that we're moving over to this channel, and on Thursdays we post the new videos. So in today's video I'm going to share with you what happened in week 2 of our greenhouse build, and then I'm also going to share some ideas for gardening with children. We have 7 children, many of which are actually not children anymore. We've done a lot of gardening together as a family over the past 9 years. So I'm going to share some ideas that we've learned along the way to work together as a family. The garden truly is a place of being together as a family, and we try our best to make sure everyone has a part in it. And we have a lot of fun together as a family in the garden. Alright, so let's recap week 2 of our greenhouse build. If you missed last week's video, that was week 1, and I went over a whole lot of details on the greenhouse. So I'm not going to share all that over again in this video. Just go back to that video if you missed it. We're just moving forward now on day 8 of the greenhouse build. So the north wall framing went up on that day. The area where the duck house is got covered with vinyl on the wall, and hardware cloth was put down for the base of the duck house. What you doing, Beto?
Watching.
Back it up. You're the screw guy, huh?
Yep.
On day 9, the south wall framing was all put in, as well as the framing for the door on the south wall, and the north wall framing was finished. On day 10, the main rafter supports were put in, so big 2x12s, and then also there were some finishing touches done on the south wall framing. The whole south wall has kind of been a puzzle to put together because we're using all recycled glass, so lots of different shapes and sizes of windows that we pieced together in the way that would allow for the best airflow and as much light as possible. Day 11 we had rain, but there were a few breaks in the rain, so the guys were able to get all the joist hangers up. And Joseph had some fun playing in there before the rain came as well. He built a fun little creation in the dirt.
Critter, you better watch yourself for a second.
I'll try not to step on your stuff. I do need to get through here.
You did it. Day 12, the rain had passed. There was time to get all the rafters up as well as the rafter ties on. You having fun up there, Jay?
Yep.
And that was the day our good friend Mark had to head back home. Thank you so much, Mark. We've already said this many times, but we so appreciate the way that you listen to our Heavenly Father and obey Him, and because of that our family has been tremendously blessed. So thank you, Mark. So going forward from this point, we're not going to have Mark's help anymore, but our older boys are still going to work on the greenhouse as they have time. We have what we need to get the roof on, and once that's on, then we can put the glass in. But we are going to have to leave the east end open for now to allow room to get a big tank in. We want to get a tank like this one. It's a 1,500 gallon tank. And we're going to put that up at the highest point of the greenhouse so that it can hopefully gravity feed water to the whole greenhouse. But that's a huge expense, so we're going to have to save for that and just do everything else that we can in the meantime toward finishing up this greenhouse. So this greenhouse is a project that, in my mind, I thought it was going to take 3 to 4 years to complete. And I'm just blown away that as little as 2 weeks we've gotten this far. We have most of the supplies that we need to finish it, and yeah, willing, it's going to be completed before 3 to 4 years from now. And we'll be growing a bunch of food in there for our family. Alright, so now I'm going to move on to the topic of gardening with children. We've had questions about this in the past and have answered this question a little bit in past videos, and I thought it'd be fun to share our experience as a family and how we have encouraged each of our children at the different age levels to be a part of the garden. So let's start at the newborn stage. Obviously newborns cannot do much in the garden, and that's why when we've had newborns we've really backed off on the garden. We've really simplified things and just kept it really small and simple when we've had newborns. I really like to be able to have the time to sit down and cuddle my little ones when they're newborn and not have the pressure of a big garden to have to maintain. So I encourage you, if you've got a newborn or a really little one that makes it difficult to do much of anything in the garden, just embrace that little one. Spend that time cuddling, nursing, just cherish those moments with your little one, and the garden can wait. The garden's not going anywhere. So once that little one gets a bit bigger and can be a part of the garden, then you can start to go bigger and do more in the garden. All right, so next comes toddlers, and I found that toddlers aren't really able to help much in the garden. There might be a really advanced toddler that can do a little bit, but for the most part what we've done with toddlers is set up a play area, a space for them right near the garden or in the garden that will occupy them to help free up time for everyone to work in the garden. So we've set up little kiddie pools, we've used little spray bottles for spritzing water, little miniature watering tins, a little dirt patch or sand patch. There's lots of things that you can do for a toddler to occupy them so that you can get garden work done. We've also often had one of our olders play with the toddler right near the garden there, so they can kind of be near us, be a part of what we're doing, but also have their own thing to keep them occupied. Next is the kind of 2 to 5-year-old stage where they can really start to help, and it can actually be a help. At that age they can do things like mixing soil together. We like to use a kiddie pool for that, and so sometimes I'll have them get little shovels and help me mix soil and amendments together. They can use little watering pitchers to actually help water where you want them to water. They can plant larger seeds at that stage. They can fill up pots of soil for seed starting, such as the ones here on the shelf here. They love doing that. Filling up pots is really fun for 2 to 5-year-olds. So we have one little one in that stage, Abigail. She's 3 years old, and she's a little bit more advanced for her age, so she actually has her own little garden space right now. I don't normally give that age their own garden space, but for her, her older sister had a space, so even last year when she was just 2 years old, we let her have her own garden space. And I pretty much do all the work to manage it for her, but it still feels like her own space and she loves it. Here's your garden, huh? What do you have in your garden?
Chives,
Chives and
flowers.
Flowers.
Johnny jump ups and violets.
Johnny jump ups and violets and echinacea.
Echinacea.
And what's this right here?
An onion.
Is that an onion or a garlic?
Garlic.
Garlic, yep. Do you like having your own garden space? Yeah.
This is the onion.
Oh, yep, there's an onion. So you have both an onion and a garlic in your garden, huh? Yeah. So the next age group is from about 6 to 9 years old, and that's when I really like to give the children their own space in the garden. We have Naomi, also you guys know her as Biddle. She is 6 years old, and I still help her manage her space a little bit, but she's old enough now that she can do a lot of the work herself. She knows what's a weed and what's a plant, so what to pull and not to pull. She's able to remember to water it even on her own. I do have to remind her a little bit. So here's Biddle. And the other day she asked if she could use some pots, huh? Because you got some old seeds and you wanted to see if any of them would grow, huh?
Yep.
So here it is. She filled up all these little pots with a bunch of old seeds. And did you get any that grew?
Yep.
There they are.
And there's one there.
And she just up-potted this one today. And you did this all by yourself. I didn't help you one bit, did I?
Nope.
Was it fun for you? And maybe some more of those will sprout too. You've been remembering to water them, huh? Take care of them?
Yep.
Good job. Do you like growing things?
Yeah.
And we've discovered that it wasn't actually corn that Biddle planted here for the chickens. It's some sort of grain, but it's doing really good. Joseph, he is 9 years old, otherwise known as Critter, and he has his own garden space. He's doing a really good job at it. He does still need some help with weeding because his area gets pretty weedy, but he can pretty much take care of his own garden now. All right, so here's Joseph's garden space. What do you have growing in your garden, Jay?
I have some cabbage, some onions, some garlic, some potatoes, some seedlum or a seedlum.
Sedum?
Yeah, sedum. Some Johnny jump ups.
Johnny
comfrey,
jump up.
comfrey plant.
Comfrey.
And over there is the walking onions.
Bunch of walking onions on the back end there. Cool, all sorts of things growing in here, huh? Do you like
flowers?
Do you like having your own garden space?
Yeah.
That stage is really fun because it's like they've been with you enough in the garden that they can now start to do things on their own, really get creative and have fun with their own space in the garden. And at ages 6 to 9 year olds can also be a real big help in the rest of the garden with watering and weeding, helping to add soil to the beds, even helping to do some transplanting. The next age group is kind of 10 to 12 year olds, and by that time they can do a lot of work independently. You can just set them on a task and they know how to do it. You can leave them and just let them work. That's also the age where I tend to really start to share a lot of the planning and garden management with them. And they're old enough at that stage to help with infrastructure, building gates, building fences, building grow beds, even building a greenhouse. So the 10 to 12 year olds can do a lot in the garden. By that time they've got a lot of experience behind them and you can pretty much just set them on a task and let them do it. The 10 to 12 year olds still do need some reminders from time to time to help them remember different aspects of the garden that need to be done, but once they're reminded they can do it. We have one in the 10 to 12 year old range. That's our daughter Esther Pie. She's 12, but really I kind of put her in the 13 and up range because she loves gardening and she's learned a lot and she pretty much can completely independently run her own garden space now. She likes it when I come and help, but I don't have to help her. She's really knowledgeable. She knows what to do now without my giving her any input. Alright guys, those who haven't met her yet, this is our daughter Esther Pie, and she's sitting here in her garden space. And this year, she invested her own money in something. What was that, Esther?
Dahlias.
Dahlias, yes. How many dahlias did you buy?
I bought 21 new kinds.
21 new dahlia varieties. If you didn't see that video, check it out. So this year she's going to try something totally new. It was her own idea. What are you going to hopefully do with those dahlias?
I'm hoping to be able to cut them and make bouquets and stuff with other flowers as well and possibly sell them.
Yeah. We love giving away flower bouquets, and so we've really never thought of selling them, but we might try that this year, huh?
Yeah.
And see how it goes. So that's really exciting. It's not dahlia season yet, so there's nothing to show yet, but stay tuned. When those dahlias are blooming, we're hoping to do a special dahlia tour video, huh?
Yep.
And then the last group is the 13 on up. It's where you really know which one of your children are the ones that love gardening and which ones will help just because they want to eat. And you really start to find what areas of the garden they thrive in. So we have 3 older boys right now in that range. Nathan is 15, Josh is 17, and Caleb actually just turned 20. They're each so different. Nathan is really into construction, so he's a big help with building beds. I'm gonna have him help build our pergolas, our grape arbors. He's been a huge help on the greenhouse. So construction is kind of his thing. But he also really enjoys having his own garden space. So this year he's got his own garden. He's totally independently planting and managing that garden space. Here's Nady. What do you mostly help out with in the garden?
Well, I've been doing a lot of bed building, like this bed right here behind me. And recently I've been doing a lot of work on our new greenhouse. And I do have my own garden space that I tend and stuff. Let me go show you. Here it is.
All right. So what do you have growing in here, Nady?
Well, I have a couple Johnny Jump Ups, some lettuce, some chard, some potatoes over here.
Potatoes in the corner just starting to pop up.
Yep, some onions, lamb's ear, pea over there, echinacea right there.
Sedum and a chamomile.
Chamomile, that's right.
Cool. You didn't really have your own garden space the last couple of years, huh?
Yeah.
So this year you were like, I really want my own garden space again, huh?
Yeah, it's fun.
Joseph's bed doubled, so he ended up giving you the extra space, huh?
Yep.
Cool. Well, thanks for sharing, Nady.
Welcome.
Joshua is one of those kind of guys who he's a worker and he's willing to do just about anything. So he's kind of my go-to guy for anything garden related that takes man strength. So he's totally cool with hauling buckets of gravel or soil or carrying big potted plants different places. He's also really good at helping Nathan with the construction end of things. And he just loves being outside in the garden so much that he's considering actually finding some streams of income that he can do that revolve around gardening. So possibly some plant sales or some type of education. All right, so here's Josh, our 17-year-old, almost 18. What kind of things do you do to help out in the garden?
Well, I help pull weeds, but not for too long or else I get pretty bored. I also help with watering, and also I help with planting.
Yep.
And harvesting.
Yeah, you do a lot of the heavy lifting stuff. And you help with all the construction too. Garden beds and greenhouse. Cool, you kind of just do whatever needs done, huh?
Pretty much.
Because you love being out in the garden space, huh?
Yep.
And you've also been thinking about maybe doing some plant sales or something like that for income in the future, huh?
Yep, possibly. Mm-hmm.
Oh, and then bees too. That's a part of the garden. You're learning beekeeping.
Yep.
And you've actually got a hive catcher going right now, huh? To see if you can get a wild hive.
Yeah.
And you have a huge horizontal hive just waiting for those wild bees to come. We'll see. Cool. Well, I really appreciate all the hard work you do in the garden. It helps tremendously.
Thank you.
And Caleb is our technical guy. As many of you know, he helped create our website. He's built a shop and now he's working on an Etsy shop. He really enjoys design, using the computer, using technology. So that also kind of plays into planning part of gardening. He's got kind of an engineering mind. So he's someone I can go to with my garden plans and we can talk through water systems and placement of beds to get the most grow space, where is the best place for access, and how do the gardens fit with the big picture of the homestead and all the different processes. So he really enjoys more so the planning side of things, but he'll also get out there and pull weeds and enjoy that. He likes to be able to tackle a bed of weeds and stand back and see that he's cleaned it all up and it looks nice. So that's how we have worked together as a family and gardened as a family. If any of you have some ideas for the different age levels and how to include them in the garden space, please share in the comments below. I personally do love to just be in the garden alone sometimes. It's a place where I can think and pray, spend time with the Heavenly Father. I love that. But I also love having my family around me in the garden. I love them joining in whatever I'm doing and talking through it and teaching them through it and inviting them into what I'm doing in the garden. I really feel like the garden is a place where the family can come together and just live life, work together, be unified, and enjoy being together. And we're gonna be spending a lot of time in the week ahead. I think we still have one more frost possibly coming, but that's just a couple nights away, and then we're gonna be planting, and it's just such an exciting time of year. I love this time of year. For more ideas on how to garden with children at the different stages of life, check out my blog post. The link's in the description below. Alright, so we have a few thank yous to give before we go.
Thank you for the clothes. Thank you for the clothes.
Yeah, they both got some shorts and a new dress for summertime. Yay!
Thank you to the person who got me these organic t-shirts.
Yeah, they're a little big, but that means you can grow into them, huh?
Yep.
They're really nice, beautiful colors.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us on the homestead again today. Please like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. That really helps our channel out. As always, thank you to our patrons who make these videos possible. Until next time, we pray blessings over you and yours. And whatever you do, do it with your whole heart.